All right, we are live. It's live and in living color. It's Coffee with the Goose live. So glad you joined me for another show. We're excited to chat with you again. We'll talk boxing, of course. Got the big fight coming up a little more. Let's see. My goodness, 5 weeks from now? It's that soon? Yeah. Manny Pacquiao and Errol Spence Jr. in Las Vegas. It'll be the T-Mobile Arena. And of course, I will be there with my wonderful wife, Raquel, and our great producer, Jude, and his wife, Tang, will be there as well. So we're very, very excited. Before we get going, though, hey, you know it is Coffee with the Goose. Let's go with some coffee. Okay, yes. Yeah, I do talk to him. I'm taking medication, so at least I'm not totally crazy, right? My coffee, as you know, very strong, like my opinion, and got some creamer to make it sweet, like I need help being sweet, right? Okay. I invite your comments, your questions. I'm going to start, though, with a little bit of news. I'm not one to whine, especially being a Manny Pacquiao fan. The guy's really given us nothing to whine about. However, they are the Pacquiao team is fighting back against the WBA. Remember, after he defeated Keith Thurman in his last fight 2 years ago, he won the WBA Super Welterweight Championship, okay? A year and a half later, they took it away because he hasn't fought in a year and a half. Well, there's a good reason for that. The pandemic, and as I've mentioned before, ad nauseum, Pacquiao is not, unlike others, he's not going to fight in front of an empty arena. What's the point? It's the show. It's a huge event with Pacquiao fights. So anyhow, the Pacquiao team sent out a statement, and I'll kind of read a little bit of it to you. On January 29, 2021, without any advance notice or warning, the WBA announced Manny as a champion in recess. At the same time, they promoted regular champion Yordenis Ugas to the super champion, the title that Manny won inside the ring. And, Ugas won the title without fighting for it. So what's the point? Now, Ugas is a great fighter, no question about that. He hasn't fought since winning his regular welterweight title on September 6th of last year. And the Pacquiao team says, what did Manny receive for the hundreds of thousands of dollars he paid in sanctioning fees to the WBA to sanction his last 3 title victories? Good question. A slap in the face. That's what he got. Now, Pacquiao won the WBA title from Keith Thurman. That was ironically on our anniversary. That was July 20th of 2019. Yes, I see that. Yes. Thank you. I need adult supervision here. Thank you, Jude. And okay. Now, Pacquiao had his title taken away from him, more or less, by the WBA because he hadn't fought in a year and a half, okay? Now, that same Keith Thurman hadn't fought in 22 months, a few months longer, before regaining his or defending his title against Josecito Lopez. They didn't take his title away. So I don't get it. It's not fair. But, hey, life's not fair. Love to hear what you guys have to say about that. And thanks, everybody, for joining in. The only fight I was a little scared for, Manny, was with Marquez. That's from Kuro Kuka TV. Yeah, good. Yeah, very wise. I can't say I was scared, but Marquez was Juan Manuel Marquez, by the way, one of the great Mexican champions. And he and Pacquiao fought 4 times. The first one was a draw. Should have been a win. It was a scoring error. Then Manny beat him twice, and then Marquez knocked him out. But Marquez is and was a great champion and a great counterpuncher. And that's what made it so difficult for Manny to fight him. The 2 fighters who Manny has had the hardest time with, because they're great counterpunchers and great defensive fighters, are who? Juan Manuel Marquez and Floyd Mayweather Jr. So be that as it may, let's see who else we got here. Roger Delupac. Hello. Chippy Ravenna. my idol. Wow, goodness. I appreciate that. You're very kind. Pac-Man is the GOAT, says Jesus Perez. I agree 100%. Kiro Kuka TV says about the WBA taking their title away. That's unfair, he says, or she. How much is the sanction fee? Pac-Man can just use it for charity like he does with a lot of his money. I agree. I don't know how much, but according to the Manny Pacquiao camp, it was hundreds of thousands of dollars. And it's just maddening. Doolett says, why don't you film Pacquiao's training at Griffith Park in L.A.? That's funny. When Jude and I went to L.A., to get ready for his last fight against Keith Thurman, it was a great experience for both of us. We did not prepare in the least, but that's half the fun. It's kind of like when you take a vacation. Don't plan everything out. You're taking all the fun away. We still managed to have a great time. We missed Manny, unfortunately, running at Griffith Park, but we did get the great trainer Freddie Roach and the strength and conditioning coach Justin Fortune. So, we just we take the blessings as they come. Let's see what else we got here. Chippy Ravina says it doesn't matter if Manny has no belt because it will add another sanctioning fee. Much better if Manny will donate to the people. Hey, I agree 100%. He's a champion, and he's still a champion in recess, whatever that means. But he's, come on, he doesn't need the belt. He's Manny Pacquiao. He's won so many belts. He's won more titles at more weight classes than anybody in history. And may I just feed you guys a little more information here. I promise I'll make this brief. Floyd Mayweather, who I respect as a great boxer, is still claiming that he has defeated more champions in his career than anybody, but that's not true because he's not counting Pacquiao's beating champions in rematches. Pacquiao has more victories against championship fighters than Floyd or anybody else in boxing history. So let's put that to rest. Who else we got here? Slap, SLAP, my first time here. Welcome. And Bacon and Eggs. Hey, Goose, how are you, mate? Good to hear from you guys. Let's see. Brandon Larson. Can you talk about the GOAT? Pacquiao definitely makes it easy to talk about. Can go on and on about his accolades. Yeah, everybody likes to say, well, this guy's the greatest, this guy's the GOAT, this guy's the best of all time. But look at the resume. I don't care what line of work you're in. Show me, the proof if you're gonna brag. By the way, I want to add one more thing. I just watched another interview with Errol Spence Jr., his next opponent. Now, I've said many times, Spence is a great champion, and this is going to be quite a challenge. Who knows who's going to win? I haven't made a prediction yet, but I will say this, not just as a boxer, but as a human being, I've gained a lot of respect for Errol Spence Jr. He's recovered very well from his horrible car crash, and he now owns a ranch near Dallas with horses and cows and calves. And, coming from somebody who's worked on farms, nothing gets you grounded more and in touch with nature and yourself than spending time with animals. And go check it out yourself. Spence has started riding horses after his accident, and he goes on to talk about what a great benefit that is, how majestic they are, how you learn patience, and one more thing, Errol Spence Jr. is an introvert. He's not he'll talk trash if you talk to him, but he's not one of those outgoing guys who needs to be noticed. He doesn't like that. He's not Keith Thurman. Okay, Keith Thurman, I wish would shut up. Yeah, to be perfectly honest, he loves attention, and he's a great fighter. But he hasn't fought in 2 years either, and that was a loss, by the way. I wish he'd just, come on, go fight somebody. Other than that, we don't want to hear from you every other day, Keith Thurman. Okay. Did you agree with Freddie about Thurman and Spence? That's from Hector, sorry. It's two separate words. Come on. Freddie said Thurman is a better boxer, more skilled than Errol Spence Jr. He's right in this respect. Keith Thurman he's a counterpuncher, and he's able to he's able to fight going forward or backward. He gave Manny all he could handle. You take away that knockdown and the that body shot in the 10th round where he ran for his life. You take away those two, you could actually say that Thurman won that fight. That was a great performance by Keith Thurman. You got to give him a lot of props. So I agree with Freddie Roach about that, although Errol Spence Jr. is more than a handful. Leo Calde had a great night going to work. Okay, man, he's the GOAT. Yeah, I agree. He fought 4 prime boxers that Floyd never fought. I don't know who that was. Cotto? Did he fight Cotto? Well,
oh, yeah.
Yeah, Cotto, Margarito. I'm sure there are a couple of others. Who's the great Mexican fighter who beat Pacquiao and then Pacquiao knocked him out twice? That was Morales. Eric Morales. He never fought Morales. He never fought Barrera. Yeah, you're right. Nike flights. Goose, when are we going to see you in the ring? Well, those days. Hey, I still got it. Don't.
You want to go with Jake Paul?
Yeah, that would be fun. My dog's afraid of me. No one's afraid of me. No, I tell my kids the last fight I was in, and I'm still in good shape, so don't push me. Last fight I was in, believe it or not, 1984. Wow. The last time I was drunk, 1984. So, hey, put 2 and 2 together. Who else we got here? Frank Rosario. Most of Pacquiao's opponents, after fighting him, immediately were taken to the nearest hospital. That's even people who won against Pacquiao. It's a painful experience either way. Eric Morales, Shoko Racing. You're right. What's that?
I got a question for
What's
you.
it?
I saw this footage of Freddie doing the gloves with Manny.
Yep.
And Freddie looks really old.
Yeah,
that kind of, it also shows Pacquiao as like old.
They're both getting there, no question. You can't fight Mother Nature and Father Time. You can't do it. I remember.
Did that affect you in a way?
Yeah, not really. Yeah, you know, because I'm getting older too. You know, and we're all.
He's going against Spence. You know.
You're right. You know, you have to accept reality, and I learned. You know what? And I'm not going to talk about my accident years ago, but I learned one thing, very important for all of us to learn. When you're confronted by something unpleasant, whether it's an accident, whether it's a loved one dying, or just you getting older, you've got to accept it and move on. Just accept it. And that way it gives you, you're not going to lose sleep over it. That's just.
But you think Pacquiao still has a physical ability?
He has. I think we all agree Pacquiao still has more speed than Spence. He's still a dangerous puncher just as much as Spence. And let's not forget, he has 39 knockouts. But his only weakness, if you call it that, is his age. And he faded a little bit in the middle rounds against Keith Thurman. And we'll see if he can overcome that and turn back Father Time in this next fight against Errol Spence Jr. Let's see what else we got here. A prediction by Rommel Bannon. Forgive me if I butcher your names here. Pacquiao will win by unanimous decision. We'll see about that. What's the percentage of his winning against undefeated fighters? I think it's 8-4. I'm pretty sure. I looked it up. Maybe 9-4. But he's pretty good. And those. Okay, I don't have a photographic memory, but one of those undefeated fighters, I think, was Jeff Lawrence, so we know so much for that one. One of them was Timothy Bradley. That was a robbery. And I'm not here to whine, but we know those were 2 robberies. And he came back and beat Timothy Bradley twice. So there are two of the losses. One of them was Floyd Mayweather, and what was the other one? The fourth one, I can't remember now.
The earlier ones, like with the Filipinos.
It might have been one of the earlier ones. Yeah.
Your brother is watching.
What?
Your brother is watching.
Which
Jeffrey?
Jeff, what's up, big brother? Oh, you're the man. You were an accident and the rest of us got over. Hey, thanks, Jeff. I appreciate that. Jeff and I have stories, But I love you to death, brother. We had my pretty much all the family together recently here. And what a treasure that was. I love you guys to death. Okay. Spence, according to Joseph Christian Roldan, Spence is too big for Pacquiao to knock out. Okay, now I'm not saying you're wrong. You could be right. He's never has he ever been knocked down? I don't think he's ever been knocked down in his pro career. He's lost in his amateur career. But here's a misconception, not necessarily from you, but you hear people say this. Well, Spence is just too big. He's so much bigger. They're the same weight class. They may be taller with more reach, but they weigh pretty much the same. I don't know about fight night. You get to put on a few extra pounds after the weigh-in, but he's bigger, but is he? Not really. They're in the same weight class. What can you say about people saying Pac-Man is on PEDs? That's just so much BS. It's just, and then you look at, he's never failed a drug test. Never. He's been in boxing. And he goes through VADA and the Olympic style. It's just, when you're that good, people are going to take shots at you, and they do with Pacquiao. Look at the list of great championship fighters, many of whom I respect, and see how many of them were caught cheating. Look it up. Many. Bully. Thanks, Jeff. Let's see.
Wow, somebody said,
what's that?
You're a bit good looking.
Well, I was good looking on the most important day, and that was 20 years ago when I met Raquel. I fooled her that night. So yeah. Anyhow, Shoko Racing, you're right. Pacquiao did in fact fade in the middle rounds against Thurman. Pacquiao has said, as he's getting ready for the Spence fight, that he knows he's quicker and speed is the key to victory, especially in this fight. So that is what he is striving for, is to maintain or maybe even increase that advantage over Spence. He's got to take advantage of his quickness. Pacquiao is not just quick with his hands, it's with the feet, and he comes at you from all those weird angles, and that's why he is so hard to fight.
Rob.
Yes.
What do you think of the conference, the first face-off interview?
Yeah, that was boredom.
Same.
Well, because they're not face to face, not really. There's no trash talking. And Spence, again, I'm gaining more and more respect. He's showing all the respect that's due to Manny Pacquiao, and he knows. But then again, the trash talking doesn't do any good with him anyhow. So why bother? But that's just not who Spence is.
Eternal Call asks, did Spence look nervous in that press conference?
I don't think so.
No?
No.
It's just a regular stuff.
Yeah, Spence is, as I said, he's an introvert. He's just not a public speaker. It's just not who he is. He's a great fighter, puts on a great show in the ring, but after that, he wants to go home. He's just not into the accolades. That's not him. Not going to get in a race. Not going to do it. Just anytime, be fair. I'll repeat this. It's gone that quick. Anytime somebody plays the race card, not you, but it's just childish and not worth my time. Spence is said to his previous opponents that he would punish them. That never really happened. I'm not so sure. He's only been nice when asked about Pacquiao. I guess he fears annoying Pacquiao like Thurman did. Yeah, I don't know about if he's afraid, but he's smart. And when Thurman really crucified himself by saying he was going to crucify Pacquiao, he just talked way too much, and 2 minutes into the fight, down he went. So that trash talking, it's only going to work against you.
Did you know that Spence, his last knockout was like 4 or 5
Yeah,
fights
his
ago?
last 3 fights have gone the distance. And even though Porter went down, a lot of people thought Porter won that fight. I mean, that was a war.
Even little Mikey
Garcia, he unleashed him. Yeah, didn't hurt him one bit.
Yeah.
And even he had Danny Garcia staggered a little bit with one punch, but didn't hurt him either. So, again, I respect Errol Spence Jr., but is he a Godzilla in the ring? We'll see. We'll see. Like I said before, there's only 2 people who have ever really, I can't say anybody's really schooled Pacquiao or made him look bad, but the 2 fighters who Pacquiao has had the hardest time with were Juan Manuel Marquez and Floyd Mayweather, because he's a great counter puncher. He's a great defensive fighter, and he fights well going backwards. And
he kept evading Pacquiao.
I know. We could go over this again. Don't tempt me like that. I respect Floyd as a boxer. I do. Let's see. Who else we got here? Grant McKee, love your videos. Thank you for watching. I appreciate that. Go Pacquiao. Thoughts on the ticket prices? Well, we were going to buy tickets, and then we realized, oh, my God, we're going to have to take out a second mortgage. No, thanks. No, we're not buying tickets. They're like, what, 500? And that's in the nosebleed section, $500 a piece. So
plus the service fee, that's $700.
Yeah, $700. Just do the math. Us, our wives, and kids. No. I'm having a hard enough time with mortgage and putting food on the table. Let's see. Question: what do you think Spence being knocked down early in the round, like by left uppercut, like Cotto? Eternal call. Thank you. Great question. I don't know. Yeah, that's the great thing about sports and boxing. You don't know. And but I'm not going to make a prediction. I think you're tempting me here. Don't do that. A couple more weeks, I'll make a prediction. But Pacquiao's, he only agreed to this fight while he takes on the best anyhow. He sees something in Spence's styles make fights, as they say, that he can handle. And I think the fact that I'll give you 2 examples. Spence is, I'm not going to say he's not a moving target, but he doesn't move much side to side, doesn't move his head much. He's there to be hit. And footwork, nothing compared to Pacquiao. So he's a target, and if you can survive his body shots, and he's a heavy puncher, he can be hit. He can be beaten. Yeah, they can all be beaten.
He always comes forward, Spence.
He always, yeah. So, Margarito comes to mind. Margarito and Cotto are the 2 fights, and I think most experts agree those are the 2 closest examples of fighters who are similar to Errol Spence Jr. After Pacquiao retires, what are you going to be covering? I don't know. There's a lot of here. Come on, man.
That's the best question ever.
Yeah, thanks. Let me put it to you this way. We've covered a lot of subjects, and what we do is we give people what they want, and after Pacquiao takes a few months off or quits, there's a lot of subjects we can cover, we can talk a little boxing, a little politics, a little religion. I love to talk about all of those. I'll try and be a big boy and not be a fraud, though. Okay, here we go. You big dummy. No, that's his name. Fraud Payweather, or Pay rather. Okay, he's ripping him, saying he's fights with PEDs. He pays the refs. He's corrupt. I'm not gonna answer. I'm not gonna argue with you. I have my criticisms of Floyd Mayweather, but I'm not gonna get into it right now. I'm just gonna say Floyd is a great champion. He's undefeated. He beat Pacquiao. Give him all the props. Greetings from Cebu. Woohoo, Erwin. We love you here, man, and I love you, Cebu. Keep going. Please give a shout out to my prime Ecema. How do you pronounce that? Ecama, Jude.
Karma.
Karma.
Sun Prime Karma.
Karma. How we doing, buddy? Yeah. You're the man. You're the next Manny Pacquiao. Okay, and I'm Cebu is my second home. That's where Raquel is from, and we're looking forward to retiring there, at least spending the winters there and the summers back here in the Great White North.
There's a question for Fury by Grow High. Is Fury faking COVID, you think?
No. Who knows? Who knows? I don't know. Yeah, there you go. Your big dummy goes down to say Floyd's best asset is what? His reflexes. He does cocaine. I don't think Floyd does coke or anything like that. I know he takes something for his brittle hands, but he doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke, so good for him. But yeah, he's great, no doubt about it. What's that?
Yeah, 4 minutes.
4 minutes left. Okay. Come to the Bay Area. Yeah, been there. Let's see. It's moving too quickly for me.
It says here, San Miguel Pilsen will be waiting for you. San Miguel.
And I made a promise already in public to all of you, in front of God and everybody, that I'm going to eat balut. So that day is coming. Carl Lauren says Manny took rounds off and went. He took a few rounds off against Keith Thurman. That's true. I don't know whether that was part of his plan. Whether Thurman hurt him a little bit or whether it was age, I have no idea. But is Manny greater than Mayweather in terms of achievements? Well, there's a lot of different ways to look at that. The greatest pound for pound ever, I don't think there's any doubt. Although there's a couple who are right up there with him. Sugar Ray Robinson, of course, Muhammad Ali. You get into different weight classes. There are great champions. He's not the only one. Is he greater than Mayweather? I don't know. I'm not going to get into that. Let's see what else we got before we wrap it up for the day. Pacquiao is more entertaining. I think that's one of the many reasons people love Pacquiao and they're not really fond of Floyd Mayweather. Pacquiao's coming at you. He's there to fight. He is a boxer, yes, but he is a fighter. You big dummy. Pac was overtrained for Thurman, says Juan Hunter. That may be. He might have overtrained. He's been guilty of that. Freddie Roach has said they try and slow him down and make him rest a little bit sometimes, and he doesn't do it. Let's see. A couple more before we quit here. Mayweather is a great businessman. No question about that. Let's see. Love to have you guys here. First of all, I want to thank you for watching the show. It's we have such a great time. My producer Jude and I, we really enjoy it. We have a great time with it, and we appreciate everybody who watches. And we, like I said before, we learn a lot from reading the comments. We take it all in, and that helps. Manny never won a belt at feather and super light. He won fake belts. Okay, whatever. He isn't an 8 division champion. He's highly overrated. Blah, 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 blah. What's his name again? Mo Lester. Okay, Mo. Tell Curly and what was the other guy? Schmo. Joe Schmo. Mo. Come on.
Here's an interesting question. Why do you think Madison Square Garden doesn't get the big fights anymore?
I don't know. For a long time, New York was the Big Apple, and that was the center of the entertainment world. And L.A. took it away from it. But I think the betting. The betting. Yeah, that was it. That's why it's all that and you can buy off judges. Yeah. Boy. You know who I'm talking to, Floyd. Okay, what else we got? You guys hate Floyd, don't you? I don't hate anybody. I try not to hate anybody. Naming yourself Mo Really? Okay, no, I'm not going to insult you guys. Goose, ever been in the Philippines? 7 or 8 times, I think. Actually, have many fond memories. Swam with the whale sharks. Actually, held a jellyfish in my hand above the water and didn't because I'm too tough for the jelly. No, some of them are not. They're not. Are we done?
Well.
We're going over. I'm getting paid time and a half for this. Woo! Okay, gonna answer one more question.
Okay.
Floyd, there's too many Floyd comments. I can't do that. When's the next live chat? I don't know. We got a couple more shows coming up. One on the what's the other one we've already done?
That we're good.
What's that?
I think.
We did. Yeah. Okay. Got another one on. Going to answer the question about. Well, we'll talk more about how these guys match up, Manny and Errol Spence Jr. It's styles make fights, and they're two really different, fighters from each other. They have their strengths. They have things that the opponent can look at and maybe take advantage. And this is going to be a great fight. The closer we get to it, I am so excited. Okay, one more.
I got a question.
Yeah.
What do you think of that clause where they can't fight each other again if somebody loses? What clause is that?
I don't know.
If Pacquiao loses, he can't fight Spence anymore. Or
really?
Vice versa.
Okay. It's kind of like that. What's that? When rich people get married, what's that part of their marriage contract where they're not gonna, if you get divorced, you're not gonna get any more of their money. That's love. That's true love. You know that. Let's see. Imagine if Manny got busted. When you're the good guy, people are waiting. Whatever field you're in, when you're the good guy, people just wait for you to slip up. And we all slip up. None of us are perfect. That's not going to preach the gospel, but that's why we need what's that?
Prenup.
Thank you. We don't have that. Thank you. But that's why Jesus Christ is our Lord and Savior. We all mess up. We all need a Savior, myself included. I'm, as St. Paul said, the worst of the worst. Can't wait to see you interview Manny. Man, me too. And I'm really confident that we will. This is funny. Roderick Villanueva says Manny versus Nassim. There's a guy that was easy to hate. That was funny when Barrera just, beat the snot out of that man. But that's what fighting's all about. Just good, clean fun. Anyhow, we're going to wrap it up. If Pac wins, who's next? Terrence Crawford. That's going to happen. And then he'll quit. He'll quit after defeating 3 undefeated champions, and he'll unify the belt and ride off into the sunset.
There's another one.
What's that?
Duterte.
No, don't want to pick a fight with that guy. No. I ain't going to badmouth Duterte. I'm going back to the Philippines soon. So, okay. Again, that's it for this edition of Coffee with the Goose. Thanks for joining us live stream. It's always fun. Love getting your comments and sorry, reading the comments as I'm trying to talk here. All you folks who subscribe, thank you very, very much. And again, we're excited about the fight. We're excited about every show. It's just fun. And again, many thanks to my great producer and good friend Jude, who makes all this happen. We got more shows coming up soon. Okay, you guys take care.